Tonight, the city of Lagos once agog as all routes
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west, and around Africa. We break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core
A
TV
24-hour news station.
Thank God it's Friday. Good morning to you and thank you for joining us on Cool TV News this hour. This is Cool Digest, where we'll bring you all the in-depth review and analysis of issues coming up, of course, within Nigeria. Okay, we're going to start with that. I'll let you know when we start discussing issues outside Nigeria. My name is Nifemi Ogunto. Reports just reaching us says that a corpse was lying on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That's just at the opposite of Fagbems before Kara, before Opik bus stop. And we hope that stakeholders, both in Lagos and Ogun State, will go there to ensure that that particular incident doesn't tamper with the health of the people living in that area. On the show today, we're discussing issues arising from the security quarters, and this has to do with Boko Haram. Shekau came up yesterday saying that I am alive. Are we being hunted by the ghost of Shekau again? You recall that just about 1 year ago, the defense headquarters confirmed that the real Abubakar Shekau was killed in battle, and not far away from there, another image came up saying, I am still alive. Not quite a few weeks ago too, the defense headquarters also confirmed that the man who is claiming to be Shekau has also been killed in the battle for Konduga. But just yesterday, from the AFP videos, we saw another video. Of course, that's what is showing on your screen. The one on the right side, I believe, carrying the headline. I mean, the new Shekau, showing and saying that he is alive. He said it was not killed, contrary to what the military said, but the defense headquarters is saying it's all lies and propaganda. As a matter of fact, in that particular video, you begin to see it's more like a 35 minutes video. We just brought you an excerpt briefly from it. The military, of course, I told you earlier, announced the death of Shekau himself a year ago, said he had died in battles. But in this new video, this man you're seeing says, here I am alive. I will not die. I will only die, rather, the day Allah takes my breath, he says in Hausa language, as reported by the French news agency. And according to that video too, Boko Haram has shown images of extreme violence before. But in this latest one, it shows at length graphic scenes of an amputation and a stoning to death, as well as a beheading and all the issues. Another issue that came up in that video is about the Air Force jets that has been declared missing. Boko Haram fighters were also seen apparently peeking through the wreckage of a downed Alpha aircraft, and the military's green and white logo clearly visible. But Air Force spokesman Air Commando Dele Alonge told AFP, our plane went missing some weeks back and we're still looking for it. It says, for any group to claim they shot it down, is mere propaganda and rubbish. Okay, we're just going to quickly find out from one of our very, very close analyst on the show, a retired Colonel Azan Stan Lambo. I'm putting a call through to him right now to find out his informed opinion as regards this new development coming from Shekau. Good morning, Colonel. How are you today?
I'm great.
You're on live to Core Digest on Core TV News. Are you there? Hello, good morning. Are you there? Okay, we're just going to try to call him back to have his opinion on this latest development. Of course, I shared with you earlier about what is the position of the terrorist group as regards the death of their leader, who is been known as Abubakar Shekau in most recent videos. And he says, like nothing will kill me until my days are over. And he says, some people asked you if Shekau has two souls. And he says, no, I have one soul by Allah. Okay, and in a short while, we'll also open the phone lines for you to have your opinion, if you can do a brief analysis. But from what you see on the screen, if we can have that video back, at the intro of that video, if you look through the window of the vehicle there, you see another image there, another man there who looks quite close to the man who calls himself Abubakar Shekau. I don't know if you can make anything out of that particular resemblance. Hello, good morning, Colonel.
Good morning. Who am I on to, please?
You're on to Nifemi Oguntoye of Core TV News.
All right.
How are you today?
Oh, it's great. Great.
I'm sure you've seen this new video released by Boko Haram, Colonel.
Yes, sure. I want to.
What do you make of the video relative to the claims by the defense headquarters that the man imposing as Abubakar Shekau has been killed in the battle for Kodunga?
I have no doubt, I have no reason rather to doubt General Chris Lukolade and the defense headquarters. Shekau has been eliminated. Disregard whatever you see emanating from the Boko Haram camp by way of clips. It is only meant to misdirect us and keep us wondering. The truth and the reality of it is that Shekau is dead and we have long passed that bridge. We are moving forward with the campaign and we are heading on to a successful victory.
It's all right, Colonel. Do you have any idea whatsoever what technology could be playing itself out here? Are we looking at a cloning technology? What do you think is going on here? What propaganda do you think the Boko Haram is up with?
Like I have always said, the Boko Haram chaps, as far as IT expertise is concerned, they are one step ahead of us. They are one step ahead of us. And I really bring my thumbs up for whoever is handling the ICT technology for them. Firstly, the guy knows what he is doing. They keep beating up at it. And that is why, in my own submission, I have just said, look, disregard them and let's move on. We cannot be distracted by whatever they want to do. Frankly, they are good. They have recruited the best hands to do the job they want to do. And they are really achieving some success in that.
It's all right. So you're saying categorically that this video is being stage managed?
It is being stage managed and it should be disregarded.
Okay, is there a possibility that the name Abubakar Shekau is more or less becoming an office that different people occupies from the terrorist side?
The fact is that Shekau, who was the spokesman or part of the leadership, so to speak, I think the name Shekau has now become more or less a grand name for the terrorist leaders. And all I would say is that, look, we must remain resolute to serve justice to anyone that assumes that name or designation or title, as well as all terrorists that seek to violate the freedom and territory of Nigeria. Simple.
It's all right.
We always try to make sure they recreate that personality Shekau, because as far as they are concerned, it rings a bell to us and it will rather make us uncomfortable. So we refuse to be uncomfortable because we know we have crushed Shekau long ago.
In the 36-minute video, Colonel, there were other clips that showed certain graphic violence and executions, certain people being punished according to the Sharia law, and also shows children and men and women watching. And they are claiming that they have strict Sharia law in place in the regions where they have captured. Can you in any way confirm for us, Colonel, if there are still particular towns under the leadership of the Boko Haram?
One thing that video tries to establish is that, look, the caliphate is in place and Islamic fundamentalist Islamic laws are being put in place, okay, and that they are already implementing it by virtue of the whatever beheadings and all the atrocities that we saw on that video, okay? They are trying to establish the fact that, look, they are in control of the caliphate. But one thing we need to realize in military warfare is that, look, when you reclaim a place from an opponent, along with the campaign, definitely there will be pockets of incidences here and there. You find 2 or 3 pockets of enemies trying to see what they think they can do. I mean, while you have moved on, your rear captain has taken care of such incidents and crushed them off. All these are mere pockets. The main party has moved on. So if we think because we say we have taken over a particular town or village or location, so there will be no single incident, no. These things don't work that way.
It's all right. Before we let you go, let me just quickly take you on this. An Alpha aircraft with the military's green and white logo was also clearly visible in that video. I just want to know if you can confirm if that has anything to do with the missing military jet. I'm afraid we lost that call. We'll put a call through later to the retired Colonel Stan Lambo, and that will be shortly after now. But I'm joined in our live studios by our veteran public affairs analyst, Olabode Oseni. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nifemi. How are you doing?
And thank you for joining us. Let me say happy independence to you.
Reluctantly, well.
Why are you reluctant?
And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm sure millions of Nigerians that live to see 1st of October, I have no doubt in my mind that majority of them are not really happy to see what the last 54 years of independence supposed to have been to them. So I'm one of those people who cannot say 100% I'm happy with the performance, our performance in governance ever since. Yes, there's room for improvement. But when we have a situation where what we are doing is like being deliberate to create unnecessary problem for governance, then ordinary man in the streets cannot stand up and say, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. Let us be honest. How many of us will stand up and say, I'm a very, very happy Nigerian, apart from those who have all what they need?
But wouldn't you say that this administration and indeed the federal government in recent times have achieved some level of victory, especially in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria?
Well, part of the job of federal government or government of Nigeria is to protect you and I, to provide security, both for lives and properties. And I think that is number one preoccupation. It is very, very important that you and I can at least feel free, that we feel secured. Less fear of if I were to go to Igbo or Tejushu market, there will be terrorist bomb awaiting me or whatever. So they've been doing what they can. It's just only a question of the amount of resources that have been put into it should have also been used to deal with the cause and causes of terrorism. The act of terrorism, I must quickly say I'm not an expert in this area, but at least I can only comment on public and political implication or ramification of, or the effect of terrorism. So, the amount of money we have at our disposal that can be, that have been used should have also been used to deal with the cause and causes of terrorism. Terrorism varies from one place to another. It's all over the place. The most powerful country in the whole world, America, they have to battle with the problem of terrorism, both a little bit inside and outside. But what they are doing is, they are doing everything, and I repeat, everything possible to make sure that, or to make sure to contain to a very variable level of terrorism, be it inside or outside. And we should be doing the same thing.
Let's get to the video. You saw the video. What do you make of it in your own analysis?
I want to join with the retired colonel to believe. My own belief is inverted command, begin and close. To believe that Nigeria killed the Boko Haram leader. Yeah. If that is correct, then kudos to federal government, even though it has taken too long. Because when you look at the size of the Boko Haram of Nigeria compared to Bin Laden of Osama Bin Laden of this world, a very wider spectrum, it shouldn't have taken us. Again, I want to refer to the resources that were available to us to have getting caught long time ago. So if it is proven, and I remember on this program a couple of weeks ago when I was also here, I said, well, I hope this information that has been disseminated to the people have been verified, double-check to make sure that there will not be another story thereafter. Because if it's found out to be another story thereafter, that would be too damaging. It will be damaging to the credibility of the government, and I hope that is not overstatement, you know. So because we have seen situation like when Osama Bin Laden was killed, before it was announced officially, it was a question of the President of America conversing, sitting down, double-checking and making sure the DNA, the everything of Osama Bin Laden. Because if you look back also in history of Osama, when Osama Bin Laden was alive, there have been a couple of times we have stories that he has been caught, he was killed, blah, blah, blah. So that is why when that particular time, when he was finally caught, the President of America with his service chiefs, they were all there for almost a week. Video, checking the video, Hillary Clinton, all the generals and so on. We all remember that. So, and I hope our president, who is the chief security officer of this country, have done that. If he has done that, double check and double check the DNA, make sure that it was Shekau that was killed. Fantastic. Then you get a ticket.
From the video that you saw, are you in a way convinced that there's a remarkable difference between the one that was said to be killed and this new one that is coming up to say, I'm alive?
That's what I was trying to say to you. For me, the video represents a replica of the old
Shekau.
Yeah, okay. But I am not in position. I'm sure you also, and that's why I was making the inference of when Osama Bin Laden was killed, because the only person, the number one person who's supposed to know before this information should go out in the first place is the president. You understand me? Yeah. Even though the people that got Shekau killed are his service chiefs and so on and military people, you understand me? But the authenticity to who should know first to make sure that, we got him all. You understand me? Should be the president. And the president must have been convinced while he has consulting with his service chiefs. That's what I was trying to say to you. So for me, whether there are 20 other pictures or whatever, we are talking about whether the real Abubakar Shekau has been killed or not.
You know, there are also controversies as regards whether this Abubakar Shekau in question is the true leader of this sect or represents the true leadership of this sect. Are you of the school of thought that believe that this is both the traditional and the ideological leader of what is now known as Boko Haram?
Also, as the retired colonel said, the terrorist cells, they are in the business of propaganda. They do that even ahead of the government. They are taunting or hunting or trying to put in a very discomfortable position. So they are very good at that. But what we should be doing is to also be ahead of their game by making sure that all the technology, because what will worry an average Nigerian is how do they have access to all these modern gadgets and we are still unable to smash or to destroy them in advance? Because the only way to kill these people, to kill their acts, to kill what they are doing, is to go ahead of them and destroy all the tools in their hand they are using to terrorize you and I. So for me, and for all what I've read, is terrorism and terrorism, the business of propaganda, brainwashing. But you see, to brainwash means they have access. And this is what I'm trying to say. This is not a direct criticism. This is what I'm trying to say here. It is because there's a big gap in the wall. Because when you look at the cause and the causes of terrorism in this part of the world, you will find out that there's a long list of what we should have done that we did not do that gave birth to terrorism.
It's all right. Well, the fact that within few days after the death of the Shekau imposter was announced, there was another image, another person, so to speak, who came up. What does that tell you about the structures of this terrorist group?
As I'm trying to say to you, terrorist organizations, they are very good at propaganda, displaying repeated videos of their leaders, because do not forget, the moment the leader, it's assumed, again, like I said, I'm not an expert, but it's assumed that the moment the leader is killed, say for example in this situation, and the only one thing I can attest to, I can say I saw and I believe 100% is when it was announced that Abubakar Shekau has been killed. There were many surrenders, as you also agree with me. So, in order to keep that business of terrorism going,
there has to be a leader.
There has to be a leader. And as I said, they are very good at things like that. So if they have been doing that, to keep coming up, and also remember very well, I keep making reference to Osama bin Laden. There have been many times that every time we heard that he has been killed, there's a new video. There's so many videos until when he was finally killed. So I hope we're not dealing with that kind of situation here. And that's why I say the chief security officer of this country must have seen, must have been told, must have been convinced that it is this particular Abubakar Shekau that was killed. Based on that, I believe the job is done.
It's all right. We'll take a short break now and we'll be back. When we come back, we'll open the phone lines to have your own opinion as regards this new development in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria. Stick around, no go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife and Motan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, our 24-hour news station.
Thank you for joining us again. Boko Haram, the haunting ghost of Shekau, is exactly what we're looking at on the show this morning as we analyze the new video released by Boko Haram via AFP yesterday. Let's join the retired colonel again on the line as we just conclude our conversation with him. Earlier we were speaking with retired Colonel Stan Lambo to find out his own professional opinion as regards this developing story. Okay, while we wait for that call to come up, we'll just show you what the clips look like again. Hello, Colonel, are you there?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please. I was asking you about the missing fighter jet that was prior to this time announced by the Nigerian military. In this 36-minute video released by Boko Haram, there was a downed Alpha aircraft and the military's green and white logo was clearly visible on it. What's your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction to it is that if insurgent groups could go to any extent, and besides, since that aircraft has not been found till now, I must be frank to you, I want to believe it had either crashed somewhere or it was probably brought down. It could have been brought down even by the insurgent groups. We cannot rule that out. Okay? We cannot rule that out. It may have been brought down by the insurgent group. It may have crash landed in operations as this. Fighter jets and our pilots at times often suffer crashes. It's a common thing in operations. We have such experience in Sierra Leone and Liberia. It's a common thing. And it may have been brought down by the insurgents. So it's neither here. I don't want to say categorically that no, the aircraft you saw there wasn't ours and so on, because frankly speaking, I don't know what type of jet was actually being flown. Was it an Alpha jet or what sort of jet was it being flown? I know it was a fighter jet, but I don't know what nomenclature.
It's all right. How do you think that the Nigerian military is winning this war against terrorism in Nigeria, in your opinion?
If you had asked me this question a month or two ago, I would have told you no, given the situation as at then. That with the build-up in terms of equipment holding and weapons, I am highly convinced with all the results we have seen in the field that we are now on the right track. I am now beginning to see the Nigerian army I have ever been proud of. When I say referring to the military, please, I'm using it in a generalized term. I am really, really, really proud of what I see them doing, and I want to urge all citizens to please fall behind their military men and give them the necessary support so we can achieve our intentions once and for all. And this will serve as a lesson to us as a nation, never, never to neglect our military anymore.
It's all right. Earlier we heard about a number of military men who were sentenced to death for mutiny. Just yesterday, 15 officers, 82 other soldiers have also been put on trial for alleged mutiny. How do you think all of this would impact on this ongoing war against terrorism in Nigeria?
If anything, it will impact positively. We cannot pretend that the military is not a dictatorial setup. It is not pretending to be a democracy. It is important that the Nigerian citizens are aware of that. The military is not pretending to be a democracy. The military is a dictatorial setup arranged in an order of hierarchy. Whatever is going on by virtue of the trial is meant to make sure that discipline is properly instilled, sustained, and maintained in the military. I can understand the feelings of the people out there. And all I can say is that since the trials are still going on, lawyers can move in, organize themselves the way our elder senior advocate of Nigeria is doing, and put up a very robust defense for them, so that maybe at the end of the day, rather than they facing the firing squad, it could be life imprisonment and things and such. That to say whether it will impact negatively on the military, I will tell you no. If anything, the military stands to gain from it.
Retired Colonel Hassan Stan Lambo, thank you very much for finding time to join us on Cool Digest this morning. And we hope that subsequently you'll be able to join us live in our Lagos studios. Okay, in a short while, we're going to open the phone lines to hear your opinion as regards this issue. But I'm still here with Olabode Hussein. Thank you very much for staying the course of the show.
Thank you.
Today, if we'll go by the position of the military, that the real Shekau was killed about a year ago, and we got another lookalike. And this time around, there's another lookalike. In that same video, via the window of that vehicle behind him, there's another lookalike. How do you think the Boko Haram is being able to pull this out? Are we looking at a cloning technology here?
Yeah, like I said, most of the time, terrorism cells or gangs, they're in the business of propaganda, portraying and displaying expertise in the area of we know what we are doing. Even though, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're all crazy lords or whatever. But as it is, they cannot be as highly equipped or sophisticated more than we, I mean, the country, the military, which should be well and over above them. But as it is, I said the best thing that can happen is the servicemen, the people who are on the field, who know that at least this man has been killed. They are the one who should come with the final analysis, the final confirmation, taken to the president and get the president to do the verification for the president to. But you see, we have a situation also that we do not have a workable data base in this country. So you are talking about, I'm sorry to make a quick digression. You started by saying there's a dead body on the highway. Probably, if it's a country where the database is working and then we can always fall back to it, if you go there now and remove the corpse there, it will be very, very difficult to trace that person to where, who, how. You understand me? Well, how? We all know probably he must have been knocked down by the moving vehicle. And I also want to use this quick opportunity again. And I remember also, I've been to your studio many times. I remember also at one of the time of my appearance here, I begged, let me use this opportunity, called TV, because it is sad in my heart. It is not good enough, 2014, that where we have so much to spend, that we find it difficult to construct pedestrian bridges. I've just used the road on my way here. And I can say again, it is not too much for human beings to put these kind of structures to support people who probably wake up in the morning wanting to go for their livelihood on one side and on the other side wanting to come back, taking the other side, and they have to cross. You know, so but that is just an appeal again, and I hope we continue using the opportunity to do that campaign. So for me, it's all hinged on the military, as the retired colonel said. The military have been doing a good job. They are the one who can confirm that this man has been killed, prove and proving that he has been killed, and take that information to our head of state. That's the way I see it.
You made mention of a working database.
We don't. I mean,
what is responsible for that? Because year in, year out, we talked about national identity card. We talk about integration of people's data, you know, and using ICT for all of that. Is it a function of overpopulation, or a function of underfunding, or a lack of resources? What exactly, can you place a hand on the reason why Nigeria has not gotten it right in that aspect?
I'm getting a little bit relieved now, because what I mean by that is I'm being burdened a little bit more of security issues, which is not my area. But like I said, I'm able to comment on public and political aspect of what happened with terrorism and so on and so forth. Now, that's a very nice area that I'm confident, I feel comfortable to comment on. Business of governance in this country, to me, looks like it's not serious. They are not taking it seriously. Government in this country is not doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And I want to say that openly to everybody listening to us. What do I mean by that? There shouldn't be too much gaps in governance. Here, the only tight area in this country is where money can be made. When you look at area where services has to be delivered, it's zero. Majority of Nigerians have to run their own government. What do I mean by that? It is the father that knows how many children he's got. I have witnessed, I've watched the program, and a notable Nigerian comes and I have 20 children. And I say, I hope you got the numbers right, because if you're able to see 20 children, I hope there's not more than that. Now, we have majority of Nigerians providing virtually everything for themselves, starting from, housing, the water works, the security, electricity. All these are supposed to be basic things. So when you're now talking about a database to me is an area that is also very, very important to plan development. But we're in the business of personalizing, politicizing, and then manipulating things to get what we want. At what advantage? Disadvantage of development. So, ordinarily, there should be Office of Statistics, both in the medical, normal, political, social, and cultural. You understand that? Supposed to be working together. So if you go on internet, tap ABCD of information you have, it shouldn't be any problem. But as it is, we're even having already problem with census. And that is the truth. We're also having problem with, if you want to know how many people died loot, you will need to probably do the counting yourself. So we lack that coordinative arrangement of governing ourselves and making sure that what we are doing is well coordinated. You understand me? But it is here for us business as usual. We are more into a business of government just to make money. But to serve the people, for me, it's almost zero here in this country.
Let's quickly touch on Mr. President's speech on Independence Day as regards security, where he said he literally was extending olive branch to members of the Boko Haram who willingly are ready to surrender. There was also a story where certain members of that group surrendered. There's a standing order now by the federal government to pardon members of that group that are willing to surrender. How do you justify that at this time, given the gross atrocity that this group has committed? But just before you answer that, we have a caller from Owerri. Hello, good morning, Honorable. How are you today? Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello?
We can hear you clearly. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, the contribution is to, I'm trying to advise our military personnel who are especially in the field to go ahead and still display if at all Shekau has been killed. Let them display again a thorough thing that will supersede the information this terrorist group are giving us that the man is alive. Let them show us how the man was killed. They are supposed to have the video clips so that the whole world will also see that this is just, they are just trying to make things out of nothing.
Right. Thank you for your contribution, Honorable AK from Imo State. How do we justify pardon at this time, you know, even as we're on the battlefield declaring war?
My take on that is the presidency or the president who is the commander-in-chief of, supposed to be the chief security officer, he has all the tools, he has all the rights to do as he deems fit to get peace or to get issue of terrorism resolved or solved. So if part of it is to find a way, a manner to reach out to them, I'm not justifying terrorism as anything to go by. You understand?
Let me just hold you for a minute. We have another caller from Kaduna. Good morning, Esther.
Hello, good morning.
How are you today, Esther?
Very well.
Please go ahead with the contribution.
I want to make a contribution.
Go ahead,
Very
please.
well. Good morning. Please, I want to really make my contribution by saying if Shekau is really dead, it's not what we should be, all agreeing about. We should concentrate on what about the armored cars? What about his followers that are still there terrorizing people? What are we doing about it? What are the military doing about it? If one man is dead and everybody is panicking, I mean, that's not what we should be concentrating on now. And let them show us clearly how this man was murdered. How this man was killed. I think that's the best way, because they are showing us a clearer video. We should be able to, show the world a clearer video too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther, for your contribution all the way from Kaduna. You were trying to make a case, between pardon and war at this time.
Well, the problem of terrorism will always be there. The most important thing we should be looking at or doing is how do we reduce it or resolve it.
Okay.
And again, the resources that federal government has at its disposal should be used in dealing with the cause and causes of this problem. E.g., like I said, if you look at the situation, the amount of poverty that is being generated, is being created daily in this country.
I'm afraid I will have to hold you again. We have another caller from Lagos. Good morning, Frank.
Hello?
Good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Hello, good morning.
Please go ahead with the contribution.
Yeah. Please, and thank you guys. You guys are making a lot of contribution here, and Nigerians are watching. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be made by Go TV. Please, I want to say something about the Shekau person. Really, Shekau is the headman of BOKO HARAM, but if Shekau is an individual that are claiming as the president of the chairman of the BOKO HARAM, but Shekau is not all over the BOKO HARAM. Nigerians are going all over the BOKO HARAM. They are terrorists. They are terrorists in the whole world. They are terrorists in Nigeria. They are terrorists who want to clear off the whole world. So this kind of fears and the agitation that these things are created in Nigeria, I don't like it. By now, I forgot that Nigeria will focus the issue that we have to take on so that this insurgency will end up. I want to make another conclusion in the area of our military men. We are there. We are here as a Nigeria that we're going to support them. But I will tell you what they are facing there in battlefield is not ordinary. They are facing in a terrible horror battle there. So what we have to do that all the Nigerians we have to stand up and support them by any means, any information. And remember that terrorists, they are not manufacturing any bullets or any arms inside bush. There is a sponsor, there is a link. There they are getting their arms and all of that. But if you can have a collaboration supporters like we do at Ebola, I can tell you this thing cannot take up to one month, and all this our children they will come back at this insurgency in the end. Yes, it's truly that Nigeria is 54 years independent. We are happy. If we tell you that all Nigeria we are happy, we are not happy. But let's say we are happy. Look at other countries that all these terrorists are terrorizing. They are not getting it. They are not getting easy. Look at Iraq. Look at Iran. Look at Libya. Look at Yemen and all those. We have been watching them. If we're not intervention of the whole world, all those countries could have been crushed out by now in the hands of terrorists. So this gentleman, I'm very excited for your program this morning. But what I want my own advice is that let all of us Nigerians stand up and make sure both opposition and the ruling party, let us focus on one thing. Let us know that these terrorists they are our enemy. Let us not be political, bring the politics. Some say Shekau die, Shekau will not die. Some opposition is supporting this one, is telling this. Media will talking that, people in TV will talking that. All those things. Please, that's my contribution. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Frank, for your contribution all the way from Lagos. Now, how do we get to the source of all of this? Because many have also questioned if truly the man in question is the actual leader of the group. What do you think can be done? For instance, many have also asked, how do these people get to upload videos for AFP, which happens to be in France? How really united is the international community in all of this to fight these to an end, getting to know who the real sponsors are?
Again, ordinarily uploading AFP or whatever, it's not a big deal. Technology has so much advancement that can be done anywhere, anytime. Now, but I want to quickly refer to one of your callers, the lady from Kaduna. Her observation is so brilliant, is so fantastic, and that is the observation millions of Nigerians want to say. How come, if he's able to kill Shekau, and you are still unable to smash, to destroy?
Let's take this call from Jos. Hello, good morning, Wale.
Yeah, hello.
Go ahead, Wale, with your contribution.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, please, I just want to contribute to this program that is going on.
Go ahead, please.
I want us to not to lay much emphasis on Shekau. Shekau is an individual. We, the Southerners that are in the north, we are still a lot. But the thing we are begging government to do is to call everybody, whether the opposition, whether the ruling party, let them come together. Call the former head of state. Don't let anybody from the government to look down on anybody. Let them come together. The poor people are suffering. The business children are not around. If you go to Maduguri, some of us who go there to do little things, go to Yobe, we dare not go there. You can't go to Bauchi, Bumbiru anymore. People are afraid. A lot of Southerners are they are living here. If you see a lot of Yoruba houses that are burned down in Yobe, in Maduguri, in Idris, they have property there. Look at, just talk about anybody. They have property. But what I'm begging government is that they should just come together and forget the politics of whether APC, PDP, any other party. Let them come together because of the poor people. And let them sort out this thing. If you see Nigeria love each other, if you see us the way we live together, the Muslim festival is coming up together now. The Christian are happy before, they will celebrate with them. But things are no more there. People are afraid. Please, just let the government, they should not let everybody on Shekau. They should not let everybody, just become prominent. They are making it important. It's nobody in Nigeria.
much for your contribution, Wale, from just quite passionate there. You were talking about Esther's contribution from Kaduna.
She made reference to if, okay, let's for a moment agree or assume that Shekau has been killed. But we see you use the word cloning. We see another person cloned for a moment again. But then what is also very troubling, what is also worrying, is the assembly of armored cars, vehicles. So if even Shekau is dead, and then we have another leader with so much powerful assembly of tools they can use to fight us again. So what's the point? And I think that is what is worrying her. And I can associate myself with her observation that we still need to do more to convince, not only killing Shekau, and most of the callers also said it. They said Shekau is only one person. But then we see more other followers with more other new latest technologies. What are we doing about that? And this should be a poster. This should be a question. We should also be dealing about or talking about. Because, yes, there can be 20 Shekaus. Traditionally, when one leader of either legitimate or illegitimate business organization passes on or whatever, there's always a succession. There's always somebody that will take over. So let's leave Shekau for a moment. That Shekau has been killed, but then what is this regrouping? This regrouping should also be warning us. Should also be an indication that are we doing enough to get rid of terrorism?
It's all right. We're rounding up now. Let's quickly touch on this mutiny of a thing. We heard about certain soldiers who have been sentenced to death for mutiny, and just recently there are about 90 or over 90 others who are now being tried. How do you think this will impact on the morale of the army and on the ongoing war against terrorism?
Nifemi, you're taking me to another area that I'm not to. I wanted to join army far back 1969. It was not possible for me. Probably if I'm in the army, I probably will have known the way they operate. But let me say this also as a common sense. And what I'm saying is for the military to... military used to be the only organization that there are rules, laws, regulations that you cannot violate, you cannot bend it. So if what happened during the time when some soldiers showed dissatisfaction, I use the word very solemnly, dissatisfaction, that they are not really satisfied, and some of them now took the courage to shoot in the air and say, we are not happy. You cannot send us to a war front where we are ill-equipped. I'm not speaking for them. But that is their own line of argument. And most Nigerians will also agree that if they were in their shoes, I had a friend who said to me, oh, will you say in one of your analyses that one of my friend is involved, and he said, I'd rather die firing squad than getting killed by Boko Haram.
Sorry, let me hold you for another moment. We have a caller from Osho. Good morning, Kende. Hello, are you there?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning. Go ahead with the contribution, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, Kende.
I want to contribute on the situation in this country.
It's all right. Go ahead.
It was unfortunate for our dear president and the chief security of this country for not giving us stable security in this country. At least, we said it before he blown him inside the helicopter.
I'm afraid there's something wrong with the quality of that call. You can try again. Let's just round up this way. How involved can the Nigerian people be? Of course, we've heard about giving information and all of that, but how involved can we be as a country 54th year anniversary of our independence. I mean, how more patriotic can Nigerians be in the fight against terrorism?
That's a very nice question to end of this program. And I also want to tell you, with all the humility, that nothing goes for nothing.
Okay.
You cannot make an hungry man, who is also an angry man, to do certain things. The result will be anger and do I care? We cannot have a situation when millions of our people are living in abject poverty, do not have anything to show for being in Nigeria, have problems of education, housing, Medicare, good roads, transportation, and many other things. Is it somebody who...
Sorry, just a minute. Kende is calling back. Okay. Let's see if we can get a clearer reception here. Are you there, Kende? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Please go ahead with the contribution, briefly.
Well, what I was saying the other time was that we have already said everything. He has said it all before they killed him. I hope you are hearing that.
Yes, yes, go ahead, please.
What I started said, Boko Haram are inside the PDP camp. And it's unfortunate, the government did nothing. And millions of people who have died. Millions of people have died every day. So, I wish the federal government, especially our chief executive, Jonathan himself, he should find something to do about the situation of this country. I have family there in just people have been slaughtered. People are dying every day. And I want this present government to do something. Otherwise, they should leave the state and allow the opposition to take over.
I believe that you made your points there. That's going to be our last caller on the show today. Let me just have your final comments on all of this, briefly.
Well, let me finish my line of, like I have also a couple of people that have said to me from the north that if you are talking of poverty, you don't have poverty in the south. You have to come to the north. This is not being biased again. This is what we can verify. This is what we can see. So for most of the people that in this axis of Zambezi, all this Konduga and all the, you need to ask them how much do they have to support. But if they have nothing, if their main struggle is bread and butter, and they have no house, and they have no shelter, they have nothing, and some organization from nowhere, like the Boko Haram, come to say, okay, we can feed it 3 times, let's just be honest.
Well, is there a possibility that the poverty in the north has been over-exaggerated? If you go to Kara in Lagos, you see people from the north who came with thousands of their rams and their cattle, and they are making big money, and several other food products that come from that side of the country. I mean, how do we justify that with this talk of poverty in northern Nigeria?
Well, it also shows clearly that there's a certain part of the country that is well balanced, well organized, business is booming, people are happy to use their money to buy ABCD of their needs. And there's also a case of a certain part of the country that their products has to be brought to Lagos first before they can make their living. And also, there's also a situation where a poultry farmer that cannot afford a scrambled egg, they cannot even take 1 or 2 of the eggs. These are little things that is affecting the polity, that are affecting the people, the citizenry of this country, that they now find it difficult. You understand me? To obey, to be supportive, to be patriotic. That needs to be said. So until when we have a government of the people, by the people, for the people, working to support the people like some governments are doing, we cannot deny that. That, let me take example of Lagos State. Much has been done. and more need to be done anyway. So we can still do better, but with what is obtainable here, if we have all that in other parts of the country, then we probably are going to be up and running.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Olabode Oseni, good to always have you on set. Well, whose reports will you believe? Boko Haram says its leader is still very much alive. Defense headquarters is saying we've killed him a long time ago. Even the imposter was killed in the battle for Kunduga. Well, I'll go with the federal government. I'll go with the Nigerian military, because this is not just the battle for the soldiers. It's a battle for the soul of Nigeria, even as we bask in the euphoria of our 54 years of independence. And it's a wrap on the show today. Join us again tomorrow at 9:30 with another exciting edition of Core Digest. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of
The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
Until the end of our time, I'm the legitimate authority to govern this country.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of Osun State and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly, and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on Core TV News.